It wasn't until they saw a photo of the CEO's wife on the phone. Only then did everyone realize that the woman they had just bullied was the CEO's wife. Rumor has it that the CEO dotes on his wife and son. Just as they were worried about facing retaliation, the CEO had already arrived with 100 bodyguards. He did not rush to reprimand these snobbish classmates. Instead, he had the bodyguards keep watch, ensuring that no one left. Then he carried his wife to the hospital for treatment. Fortunately, both his wife and son were unharmed. To take revenge on those people from the classmates' gathering, the CEO decided to return to the hotel with his wife. Meanwhile, the classmates were blaming the man and his first love for their misfortune. The man was so frightened that he was completely distraught. He couldn't understand that in their previous life, the woman had loved him so much. She had even promised to bear a child only for him. But in this life, the woman had abandoned him and married the CEO. Suddenly, the woman walked over, her arm linked with the CEO's wrist. The classmates, upon seeing this, immediately knelt down, pleading with them to let them go. They claimed that it was the man and his first love who had wronged them. The CEO paid no attention. Instead, he had his wife sit down and then began his reckoning. First, the CEO took out the cake delivery receipt he had given to his wife. He asked whose name was on it. One of the classmates immediately accused the first love, claiming that it was the first love who had signed for the cake on the woman's behalf, and had even smeared the cake on the woman's face. The CEO immediately asked everyone for a favor. Everyone was more than willing. So, following the CEO's orders, they smeared the cake all over the first love's face. In doing so, they avenged his wife. Next, the CEO began to take action against the man. He began by thanking the man for breaking up with the woman 7 years ago. Otherwise, he would not have been able to marry such a wonderful wife. After saying this, he punched the man, sending him crashing to the ground. The man had hoped that the woman would plead on his behalf. But little did he know, the woman had already come to despise him. She picked up a cup of grape juice and poured it over his head. The first love could not bear to see the man humiliated, hoping that the woman would show mercy for the sake of their past as lovers. To his surprise, however, the woman made a demand. She ordered the man and the first love to kowtow and confess their mistakes to her. They had to continue until she was satisfied. After having finished reprimanding the two, the woman then turned her wrath toward the other classmates who had bullied her. She demanded that they vanish from the city within a day. As the woman turned to leave, the man suddenly called her back and asked her when she had stopped loving him. The woman replied that she had stopped loving him the moment they broke up 7 years ago. Moreover, she was very grateful to fate for giving her a second chance at life. It was precisely because she left him that she was able to marry the CEO, a wonderful husband. Thus, she went on to live a happy and fulfilling life. But the first love was not willing to accept this. She claimed that the woman had merely married a rich man. She further asserted that the woman had no real abilities. The woman ignored her and left without a word. At that moment, the first love received a phone call from her mother. She learned that her father was critically ill, hospitalized, and undergoing further surgery. However, this surgery could only be performed by the most renowned female doctor in the country. When they went to the hospital in search of the female doctor, they discovered that the woman was also employed there. The first love mistakenly thought that the woman was a hospital attendant. She looked at her with disdain, believing that the woman lacked genuine qualifications. Thinking that she had become the CEO's wife merely by seducing the man, she deliberately humiliated the woman. The man, not daring to offend the CEO's wife, behaved with utmost deference, until they all got off the elevator together. They saw the woman heading straight to the doctor's office without waiting in line. The first love was still accusing the woman of cutting in line. When she heard from a nurse that the woman was actually employed here, the first love, embarrassed by the ridicule of others, fell silent. She had no choice but to obediently join the queue and wait for her number to be called. What she could never have imagined was that the female doctor they were looking for was none other than the woman she so despised.